Is alcohol really bad for you? This is a common question I get from women, especially over 40, who fail to really understand what we mean when we say alcohol really does have an influence and overall impact on you. See, here's the thing. Women actually process alcohol differently than men. So compared to men, we can start here, women have less water in their blood to dilute the alcohol. So the alcohol they do drink is going to be more concentrated. And women's brains and organs will then likely be exposed to more alcohol for a more expended period of time. And even the moderate consumption of the alcohol will cause progressive damage. And women have lower levels of key enzymes to metabolize that alcohol, so it stays in their system longer. That's the key point there. So when we combine that with a smaller average body size, where the same amount of alcohol has a larger impact, and you get the end result of when women drink, they face higher health risks than men. So we're going to learn more a little bit about that, but one of the simple facts as well is that older women process alcohol differently than younger women. Yes, I'm in my 50s, so whether you're 40s, 50s, 60s, older women are likely to have less body water than younger women. It's just a fact. And that means that drinking the same amount of water will result in a higher blood alcohol concentration for women who are over 40. So on top of that, older women are more likely to be taking prescription medications, which may magnify the alcohol's toxic effect in their organs. And we, also have to consider those hormonal levels and what we're going through during menopause or perimenopause. So when we look at alcohol, it goes way beyond what calories in are, calories out, or what we thought we were just thinking about in our 20s. We could just work off those calories, but there's more to consider. And, as we ripen with age and become better, we tend to sometimes be a little bit more social. We may tend to drink a little bit more. And then this is where things can get a little bit tricky or dicey. So despite the fact that age decreases our ability to tolerate the alcohol, midlife and older women are drinking much more on average than previous generations. And we're also having more health problems, including alcohol and, related emergency room visits. We go into our gut health, and we really have to look at that because it can really mask and get things worse. It can really eventually get worse. And then the other life challenges happen, right? With stress and depression. So women are more likely than men to relapse when it comes to drinking alcohol in response to the stress. So we also have to consider that the alcohol poses like a body-wide negative effects. And kind of what I was alluding to is that, for many years, the media was promoting this healthy heart and a fun lifestyle, and it was a social reward to have an alcoholic drink. And not only did they show it as a pleasurable and relaxing moment, they also suggested that red wine could have health benefits thanks to, these substances like grapes. But recent research now confirms that this is a myth. We now know that alcohol consumption poses more risks than benefits, and even at low doses. And this is especially true for women in midlife and beyond. You probably realize that when you're drinking in midlife, you don't recover the same. You probably feel like you're hungover despite even only having one or two drinks, right? So moderate alcohol consumption may also increase a woman's risk of neurodegeneration. And then we look at the risks of cancer. Alcohol is used to link to many types of cancer, including breast cancer and digestive cancers, gastric cancers. So we have to consider it from a holistic perspective and the impact on the body. And then let's not forget those more hot flashes, because we already have enough going through peri and menopause. And so alcohol may affect the vasomotor regulation, which leads to those hot flashes. I get them, many of you get them. And that leads to the disruption in our hormones. So alcohol can disrupt the complex feedback loops that regulate our sex hormones, potentially worsening other menopausal symptoms, like those hot flashes. So when it comes to our bones, we also have to consider that alcohol is really the intake can lower bone mineral density, increasing a woman's risk of fractures. And all of this, when you compound all this together, it also results in exercise recovery is slowed. So when you drink, it slows glycogen synthesis, which means women have less in the tank for their next workout. After all, when we drink, we think we're going to recover, but not as quickly. So on top of that, our muscles don't rehydrate as well, and the cytokine signals that trigger post-workout muscle repair are altered. And you know that we need our recovery. Next, alcohol really impacts our sleep. And, we think about alcohol suppresses our REM, which is our rapid eye movement or our dreaming and sleeping, and leads to worsened sleep. And we already know that at this point in our life, we have trouble sleeping because of our decline in progesterone levels or those imbalances. And then something that I've experienced, that dehydration and water retention. Alcohol is a temporary diuretic, and it flushes out everything, but then you get the rebound effect of water retention, and you're thirsty, you've got that puffiness on your face, and you feel swollen. I remember that. You got to consider what our liver's doing during that time. We're not as strong or resilient, our bodies, as men. So we have to look at how our bodies are, processing the alcohol in a holistic perspective. So we may not be as resilient with the multitude of factors that we have to consider. So, even in terms of your everyday thinking and your thought processes, modern consumption is less than many people think. And we think it's just one drink, but because of the health risks, most women want to, would benefit from, capping off things or the moderate consumption and probably even less. So we try to get really low levels, but even at low levels, it can have effects, and everybody is different, right? Even if it's one drink a day, that leads to 7 drinks a week. And when you compound that, it culminates to be so much more. And it depends on the type of alcohol that you're really consuming during that time. So really reflect on what you're drinking and the types of alcohol that you're consuming each day. So the next time you want to have just one, just think again of how you're going to feel and how it's going to affect your health and how you're going to feel tomorrow. Will you be better or will you be worse?